Many people who get to know you as a head teacher remark on your resilience. So, what part does that play in your role as a head, and how do you keep that resilient outlook?
That's an interesting one because people do. They call me a terrier. Most people who've known me in all sorts of walks of life say I am very resilient and I'm very terrier-like and I go after things and I'm not to be crossed and things like that. I think I've always been a resilient person. I didn't have an easy upbringing, as you know. It was a very difficult upbringing. So I was a single parent who was always ill. I was in care. So I think I've had to be resilient. So that's the first thing to say. I probably had to be resilient. But secondly, with age, particularly, actually I laugh a lot. I laugh enormous amounts. And age helps because you think, it's all right, things will come good in the end. You don't worry about it. And the other thing I learned quite early on when I was a young teacher and so on was, actually, you mustn't get stressed out. Is this worth a heart attack? It's not worth a heart attack. So, there are more important things to worry about. And so I've kind of got that attitude. It helps having a school which is always happy. The environment is enormously important. Right, I think your environment is successfully important. What you make of your classroom, so I've had several classrooms over the years, but I've always put a lot of time into its presentation, into how good it looks, because actually I'm in that classroom. I want the kids to feel good about themselves. I want me to feel good about myself. So I create that kind of level of being comfortable and happy. And I remember in one mainstream school where I wanted to always have a happy outlook and be hence resilient. For a year, I got the children to write all good words, positive things. So I was never going to say anything negative. It was positive things. And they wrote on pieces of card, they wrote and decorated them. So I put them all over the classroom, words like awesome, fab, brilliant, fantastic, well done, all that sort of thing. I had loads of them. They went all over the classroom and they went all in the corridor. So every morning I came down that corridor, looked at those words and went into the classroom and looked at those words, and my language changed over the course of the year. The language changed, and every time I said something that was not positive, the children always picked me up on it, and I loved that. But it was a change over the course of the year. But I do believe if you've got a vibrant school, a vibrant community, happy community, you're much more resilient and much more positive. Does that answer the question?
It does. Many heads must feel a sense of isolation because the buck always stops with them, and there's no one in the same position as them with whom to share their troubles and experiences. How do you maintain your resilience as a head in the face of that isolation or barriers that you face?
Right. Well, first of all, I don't feel isolated. Okay, it depends. You've got a number of people that shouldn't make you feel. Your leadership team, for a start, should not make you feel isolated. Okay, the buck stops with you, but if you're used to, and I delegate leadership here. I am not an expert of autism in this school. Right, Lucy is. Lucy is my head of autism in this school. And she knows she's the expert. So actually, any questions about autism go to Lucy. But any questions about leadership or what we do go to the whole leadership team. I don't make them. I make them with them. I have the overall say, but by and large, what they tell me actually guides me significantly. So I don't feel isolated in that respect. And the other people you have to use are your governors. Right? We come back to using governors wisely. My governors say to come sit and have coffee, and they will actually make sure that I feel okay, and that if I've got any difficult decisions, they will help me make them. The other thing we've done as a school, though, is appoint a person who helps me. We go out for coffee. We have a lot of coffee in this school. We go out for coffee, and that's a mentoring meeting. And his job, I see him 3 or 4 times a year, is to make sure I'm feeling good about myself. It's a bit like a wellbeing supervision, but with someone external to the school. And he'll be on the end of a phone, which is great. He doesn't charge enormous amounts, maybe because I buy him coffee, but you know, he doesn't charge enormous amounts. But it's great to have that additional person to talk to. So if you're not working in a community, again, is the school going in the right direction? So you shouldn't feel totally isolated there. You've also got the local authority. Whether you're academy or not, often you have people in the local authority who will want to sit and make sure you're happy and you're comfortable and you're going in the right lines.